Okay, so today is January 5th, and the topic of today's reading for the book Affirmations for the Inner Child by Raquel Lerner is criticism. I will allow my inner child to receive constructive criticism. Inside of me lives a 12-year-old who takes every remark as a criticism. This child transforms every comment into a judgment of her self-worth. You're bad. You can't do anything right. So she plants her feet, puts her hands on her hip, and yells back, "Shut up! You can't tell me what to do." I'm worn out. I'm worn out by her angry, combative stance. Today, I will allow my inner child to receive constructive criticism. I can listen to the feedback from others without becoming defensive. I can take some time to reflect on it and ask myself, does this behavior need to change? I no longer have to need to say you're wrong to make myself right. My inner self is already right. I can change my actions to reflect her shining image. So, well, yes, that is the reading of today, which is inviting us to step back a little, right? At the very least. But the only thing that I have to say about this, well, there are quite a few. But the first thing is that uh, there is this very thin line that differentiates criticism with uh, finger pointing, right? With blaming, right? With accusations, basically, right? Uh, because the way the reading is putting it, right? If somebody's telling you you are bad, you can't do anything right, this is your fault, that is a direct accusation, right? That is not a criticism, right? That is not the way people. That is not healthy criticism, right? So, of course, making a difference between both things is important because if you are being pushed into being thought that you are wrong all the time with unhealthy criticism, that is an attack to oneself. In that position, of course, the best option is not to fall into that attack, right? And to try to put it into perspective, which is the same that pretty much the same what the reading is inviting us to do. But those attacks, those unhealthy criticisms, those accusations uh, can be nasty, right? Can make you feel really, really bad and guilty, perhaps. Uh, so one has to be careful with those things, right? And one has to realize that in the end, those are opinions from other people, right? Those are opinions from other people that doesn't actually reflect your own stance, right? Or your own actions or your own behavior. It might very well reflect theirs. So there's a lot of again, there's a lot of issues that revolve around this. But of course, what the reading is inviting us to do is first to accept it. And what is it that you have to accept? You have to accept the fact that people are going to think differently than you, no matter what. That is something you can't control. People are going to just finger point at people, blame people, restore to the guilt card or attitude or whatever. So that is something that you have to accept, right? And it's not that you have to accept what they're saying, but accept that people are going to just criticize, whether it's healthy or unhealthy criticism. And if you can differentiate between both and realize that someone is making a healthy critic based on grounds, then you can perhaps take something from that, right? Take something from that and say, well, perhaps I'm doing something that is not right. Some people just don't know how to make a critic, and they will just throw all the dirt and negative emotions that they have inside them and reflect their own insecurities into you. Which again, you could find something from there also to, well, to grow. It's not something that you might say, no, I'm not gonna grow with that. Perhaps you can, right? Perhaps there is something that you can learn from that as well. But be very careful, right? At the very least, be very careful with first differentiating both and taking what you think it's good to take from that criticism, right? In any case, don't act defensively. That's the worst thing you could do. Uh, I can say that with a little bit of experience. But sometimes you need to, right? Sometimes you need to just put things in perspective and say, stop it right there, right? Wait a minute, right? You have crossed the line, right? That's also respecting your boundaries, right? So, of course, again, with a little bit of perspective into it and making a difference between all the degrees of criticism that people can make, there are things that you can take, and there are things that you just cross the line into, from healthy criticism to unhealthy criticism to finger pointing to blaming to accusations, right? So be careful with that. In any case, that is the reading of today. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, leave any comments below, subscribe to the channel, share through social media, and as always, if Providence allows it, we will meet each other in a different day.